Did you know that after the age of 30, you start losing up to 5% of your muscle mass every decade, even if you're active? And by the time most people hit 70, they've already lost around 30% of their total muscle strength. That's not just a scary number. It's the silent start of a serious condition called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, and it's one of the most underestimated threats to senior health today. We're not just talking about losing tone or strength. We're talking about losing independence, struggling to get out of a chair, falling in the bathroom, breaking a hip from a minor stumble. And here's what's even more alarming. Recent studies have found that specific everyday foods, yes, foods most of us eat without a second thought, can drastically speed up this muscle decline. What you eat may be quietly robbing your muscles every single day. In this video, we're revealing the 8 everyday foods that could be fast-tracking muscle loss in seniors, and the #1 food at the end of the list. It's in almost every kitchen right now, and it's by far the most dangerous of them all. So before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to protect their health, especially if they're over 50. Let's spread the science that matters. Number 8. Processed deli meats. You might think that turkey slices or ham from the supermarket are an easy protein fix, but when it comes to aging muscle, processed deli meats are anything but friendly. These meats are often pumped with sodium nitrates, preservatives, and chemical additives that wreak havoc on your body's natural inflammation balance. And here's why that matters for your muscles. Chronic inflammation disrupts the way your body repairs and builds muscle tissue. Normally, when you exercise or even just move around, small tears form in your muscles, which the body heals and builds back stronger. But when inflammation is high, thanks in part to what you eat, that healing process stalls, and the muscles don't recover. They shrink, they weaken. Add to that the fact that most deli meats contain very little high-quality protein per serving, and you're basically eating salty, chemical-laced fluff. There's also evidence that frequent intake of nitrates is linked to mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria are the tiny power plants in your muscle cells, and when they start to malfunction, your energy tanks and your ability to maintain lean mass drops off a cliff. So while that ham sandwich might feel like a light lunch, your muscles are paying a heavy price over time. Number 7. White bread. We all love a warm piece of toast or a sandwich on soft white bread. But here's the kicker. White bread is stripped of nearly all its nutrients during processing. It's made from refined flour that's been bleached and broken down so much that your body digests it almost instantly. That quick spike in blood sugar. It doesn't just affect your waistline. It sets off a chain reaction in your muscles too. High blood sugar levels promote insulin resistance, which interferes with your body's ability to absorb and use amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. Without amino acids circulating effectively, your body starts tapping into your own muscle tissue for energy. That's right, your muscles become a backup fuel tank. And here's where it gets even worse. The lack of fiber and micronutrients in white bread also means it does nothing to support the gut microbiome, which plays a key role in regulating inflammation and immune function, 2 things crucial for protecting muscle health. So while it may seem harmless, that daily white bread toast could be accelerating muscle loss in ways you can't even see until you feel the weakness. Number 6. Vegetable oils. They're often advertised as heart-healthy and light, but some of the most common cooking oils in the average kitchen may be eroding your muscle mass meal by meal. The problem lies in their high omega-6 fatty acid content. While omega-6 fats are essential in small amounts, modern diets contain far too much of them, especially from refined oils like soybean, corn, and canola. When omega-6 intake outweighs omega-3s, the anti-inflammatory fats, the body tips into a pro-inflammatory state. And again, chronic inflammation damages your muscle fibers over time. But there's more. These oils are highly unstable at high cooking temperatures. When heated, they produce toxic compounds called aldehydes and lipid peroxides, which directly impair cellular repair mechanisms, including in muscle tissue. Even worse, these compounds can affect the way your body utilizes insulin and processes nutrients, leaving you with less fuel to feed and repair your muscles. So that seemingly healthy stir-fry or pan-fried veggies, If you're cooking them in the wrong oil, you might be feeding the very inflammation that's eating away at your muscle strength. Number 5. Sugary breakfast cereals. They promise energy, vitamins, and convenience. But most boxed breakfast cereals are little more than sugar bombs wearing a disguise. Whether it's cornflakes, puffed rice, or the whole grain varieties that sound healthy, these cereals are usually loaded with added sugars and refined grains. What's the problem? High sugar content causes repeated insulin spikes, and when your insulin response is constantly overworked, your cells become resistant, meaning they stop absorbing glucose properly. This condition, known as insulin resistance, leads to reduced amino acid transport into muscle cells, essentially starving them of the nutrients they need to grow and repair. On top of that, high sugar diets are associated with elevated levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which is a known muscle waster. Cortisol breaks down muscle tissue for energy, especially in times of nutrient imbalance. So if you're starting your day with sugary cereal, you're setting your muscles up to be broken down instead of built up. Plus, many cereals lack the essential minerals like magnesium and zinc, which are vital for protein synthesis and muscle contraction. Over time, what looks like a harmless breakfast becomes a slow muscle drain trap. Number 4. Soda and soft drinks. Whether it's regular or diet, soda is one of the sneakiest muscle killers in the modern diet. Regular soda is obvious. It's full of sugar. And as we've seen, sugar leads to insulin resistance, inflammation, and high cortisol, all of which erode muscle tissue over time. But diet sodas are no better. In fact, they may be worse. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose have been linked to gut microbiome disruption. And your gut health isn't just about digestion. It's central to inflammation control, immune response, and even protein absorption. When the gut is imbalanced, your body becomes less efficient at synthesizing muscle proteins from the food you eat. That means even if you're eating enough protein, your body might not be using it correctly. Plus, phosphoric acid, found in many colas, interferes with calcium absorption. Low calcium levels weaken not just bones, but also muscle contractions, making you feel weaker during physical activity. And it doesn't stop there. Studies suggest regular soda drinkers have more visceral fat and less lean muscle compared to non-drinkers, even when calorie intake is similar. So that can of soda with lunch isn't just bad for your waist, it's actively shrinking your muscle reserves sip by sip. If this is eye-opening for you, you're not alone. These everyday foods can fly under the radar so easily. So take a second right now to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if it's helping you understand your body better, and share it with someone who might be unknowingly eating their way to muscle loss. We've still got the top 3 worst foods to go, and trust me, they're even more shocking. Number 3. Alcohol. You might be thinking, wait, isn't a glass of wine supposed to be good for you? The truth is, while some studies suggest small amounts of red wine can benefit heart health, when it comes to muscle preservation, especially in seniors, even moderate alcohol can be a serious threat. Here's why. Alcohol interferes with the body's ability to synthesize protein, which is essential for maintaining and building muscle. When you drink, your body shifts its focus from metabolizing nutrients to detoxifying the alcohol. This shift suppresses muscle protein synthesis, meaning your body pauses or slows down the process of building or repairing muscle tissue. And over time, those little pauses add up to significant losses. But that's not all. Alcohol also dehydrates your muscles. Muscles are around 75% water, and even mild dehydration reduces their function, endurance, and ability to recover after stress or activity. Add to that the fact that alcohol disrupts sleep, which is when most muscle recovery happens, and you're left in a state where your muscles are never really rebuilding properly. Even worse, alcohol increases the production of cortisol, the muscle-damaging stress hormone we mentioned earlier. And if you're drinking with meals, you might also be reducing your ability to absorb key nutrients like B vitamins, zinc, and magnesium, nutrients that play major roles in muscle strength, repair, and nerve function. So while the occasional drink may feel like a well-earned reward, if you're over 60 and trying to stay strong and active, that nightly cocktail may be slowly pulling the strength out of your legs and arms without you even noticing. Number 2. Instant noodles and packaged ramen. They're cheap, fast, comforting, and a pantry staple in millions of homes. But when it comes to preserving muscle, instant noodles might be one of the worst choices you can make. First, they're almost completely devoid of real protein. Most servings contain less than 5 grams of low-quality protein, not enough to trigger any real muscle maintenance effect. But the real danger lies in what they do contain: refined white flour, ridiculously high sodium, artificial flavors, and a chemical soup of preservatives. These ingredients all contribute to a perfect storm of muscle-damaging conditions. The sodium alone can cause water retention and increase blood pressure, which can damage blood vessels and impair nutrient delivery to muscle tissues. And without proper blood flow, your muscles aren't getting the oxygen and amino acids they need to stay alive and functional. The refined carbs cause a massive blood sugar spike, followed by a crash that often leads to cravings and fatigue. Not exactly a recipe for staying active and mobile. And then there's the inflammatory effect of additives like MSG, monosodium glutamate, which is common in flavored ramen packets. MSG has been shown to overstimulate certain receptors in the nervous system, and in sensitive individuals, this can interfere with muscle nerve signaling and lead to fatigue or weakness. Over time, consistently relying on nutrient-poor meals like these leads to what's known as anabolic resistance. Your body stops responding to normal protein intake. That means even if you try to eat better later, your body won't build muscle the way it used to. So every bowl of ramen might be setting you further back from the strength and independence you're trying to protect. Number 1. Pastries and baked sweets. And now we come to the most dangerous food for muscle loss in seniors, and it's probably sitting on a kitchen counter somewhere near you. Pastries, croissants, muffins, donuts, cakes, all those baked treats that seem innocent, maybe even comforting, are actually one of the most destructive things you can eat for your muscles. Why? Because they're the triple threat. They combine high sugar, refined flour, and trans fats into one deadly package. Let's start with the sugar. As you already know, excessive sugar intake leads to insulin resistance, inflammation, and elevated cortisol, all of which directly lead to muscle wasting over time. Next, the refined flour is just like white bread. It's digested quickly, spikes your blood sugar, and provides no real nutrients to feed your muscle cells. But perhaps the worst ingredient in these treats is trans fat. Even though many countries have cracked down on trans fats, they still show up in baked goods under sneaky names like partially hydrogenated oils. These fats are toxic to the body and have been shown to increase inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which harm muscle cells directly. But here's the real kicker. These baked goods also trigger cravings and mess with your appetite-regulating hormones. That means the more you eat them, the more you want them, and the less room you leave for actual muscle-building foods like lean proteins, legumes, or healthy fats. Over time, your calorie intake stays high, but your nutrient intake drops off a cliff. That's the fast track to sarcopenic obesity, where you look normal or even overweight, but are severely depleted of muscle mass underneath. These baked goods literally melt muscle off your frame while padding on empty weight. They make you weaker, slower, and more vulnerable to falls, fractures, and fatigue. If you're serious about staying strong into your 60s, 70s, and beyond, cutting out these soft, sugary, buttery pastries is the single most powerful step you can take today. Now that we've uncovered all 8 of the sneaky everyday foods that silently speed up muscle loss in seniors, it's time to take action. These aren't rare or exotic ingredients. They're foods you probably see or eat almost every day. And that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. They're familiar. They feel safe. But they're silently stealing your strength. The good news? You can reverse the damage. Start replacing these foods with high-quality proteins, fresh vegetables, anti-inflammatory fats like olive oil, and complex carbs that fuel muscle recovery. Add in some light resistance training, even just using your own body weight or resistance bands, and you'll be amazed at how much stronger and more confident you feel in just a few weeks. If this video opened your eyes, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and share it with a friend or family member who needs this information. Let's help our loved ones stay strong, active, and independent, because muscle is more than just strength. it's freedom. Now, we want to hear from you. Did any of these foods surprise you? Or have you made any changes to your diet to help protect your muscle strength? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.